What's up, people? Another day working on the 62 Chevy Impala here at Motor City Customs. Just wanted to take a minute to give you guys another update on the project and the progress on the project. So I've been doing a little work before I decided to pick up the camera and vlog. Where we last left off, we were working on the lower quarter. Still got work to do there, but I was drawn to the upper quarter today. It's got some issues. It's got a pretty decent low spot right here, which should be a little evident from, you can see the sanded filler there, the stuff that's still kind of shiny, low spots. So I already been working the area, trying to resolve it as best as possible, but I want to try to get the whole upper quarter smooth because it's got some issues. It looks flat, but it's got a couple ripples here and there, so I need to really wipe the entire thing. But before I get too ahead of myself, I want to focus on the worst area, and that's this section right here. So yeah, I've been sanding on it, blocking it down by hand. I am going to plan to use the air file to help get a nice flat edge. But before I break that out, I want to fill in this little area right here. So that's it, pretty much it. Getting that together. Haven't touched the car in a couple of days. That's why you haven't really seen any updates. I just been, trying to take care of some other loose ends outside of the shop. So this had to take a slight back burner. And actually coming up, this is probably between maybe today and tomorrow. You might get a couple more videos, and then I'm going to slow down for a minute, and then I'll jump back on it, as I just got a few things going on. But with that said, man, I hope you guys enjoy this section or this segment, this update on the content. If you do, be sure to hit that like button. If you're new here, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of the action, any of the updates. And without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and mix up some Bondo and get to spreading it out and see if we can't get this upper quarter nice and straight. Stay tuned. All right, so we got the Bondo laid out on there, letting it dry. Although it was just, kind of one area that has the low spot, just go ahead and wipe a good amount so that you have a better chance of sanding everything flat. I'm not quite sure if we got it just where we need it to be yet, because, I can't really touch it yet, but I'm hoping so, In wiping it, I did feel like a potential that it still could be low, so we might have to build it up just a little bit more. It sucks, but there's not really much opportunity to metal work it much further, and it's not worth trying to splice in a whole new piece of metal or anything, right? The whole quarter's already been replaced, so you just go ahead and work with what you got, Although I'm trying to use minimal filler on the car, as you can see, the whole damn thing is getting a skim coat, if nothing else. I mean, we sanded it a lot off, as you can see evidence there, and I've swept up a couple of times, but it is what it is. You want to get these old cars nice and straight, you're gonna have to use some filler, man, unless you get lucky and you get an OG car that's in really great shape, original paint, no dents, no dings, then you be in business, man. Then you can have a nice show car. But for me and my skill level, this is what it takes, man. So I'm working on it. We'll get there, and at the end of the day, it's a street car, so I'm gonna be happy with it one way or another. But yeah, we'll let this dry. We did use a good amount of hardener, so it shouldn't take too long. It's setting up nicely. I mean, I could have did a better job of wiping right here, that's for sure. But most of this is gonna sand out anyway, because we didn't need anything in here. It's more so like right in here where we had the low spot. So we'll see how it goes. And our body line is fine. I still got to fix right here. So I think once I get this straight, I'm gonna start blending into this area. A little bit further up right here, there's a little dip or two, and if I remember correctly, there was a skim coat of filler here, so I don't think it was ever sanded. So we'll get into that, And we'll be able to, with this being a nice flat surface here, we'll be able to hit this with the air file and contour all the way down the top of this quarter, as well as the long block, right? I got a couple of longer Dura blocks. That's good for doing long flat areas like that. So we'll get it straight, nice and straight. When it's all said and done, you'll never know if it wasn't for me documenting it. That's it for now, guys. We'll go ahead and let this filler go ahead and set up, and I'll come back to you when we got a little more progress. Hang tight, stay tuned, hit that like button, don't be shy. All right, people, we're back. So I got the area smoothed out pretty nicely, and we just have a couple of low spots like this right here, right in here where we didn't get the best wipe with the filler, and just right along the edges here. So I'm gonna take a little glazing putty, touch those spots up, let it dry, and then do one final block over, well, maybe not final, but another finishing blocking of this area. Then I can start to get into this area. We'll see how much time we have today to attack that or not. But so far so good with this area. Feels really good. I'm happy with it. I had to go over this one area one more time, and it built up just a little bit higher than I would like. So now I need to feather that in with some glaze putty or sand it out. And then we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and put the little glazing putty there and continue to block it. I don't want to go too crazy with the sanding because I'm using the long block and I want a nice smooth surface. And so far we have that. Honestly, I didn't even use the air compressor or the air file. I just did it all by hand. I know I'm gonna regret that in the morning. I'm gonna feel it, but we want to get it right. So I'm just taking my time with the hand blocks and consistently checking so we don't over sand and have to keep adding material. And then we get it right the first time around. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and get some glaze putty mixed up and get to work. So stay tuned, we'll be back. All right, so we got the glazing putty laid down. I mixed up a little bit more than I needed, so I just went ahead and wiped. Anyway, it'll hopefully help us to get a better finish sanding in that area closer to where the trunk lip meets up right there. Because it was getting a little bit of a ridge there. Because I had to build up this area, so we're right in one spot. It had a little ridge. But yeah, we took care of the little low spot / divot right in there. And yeah, we just continued it all the way around this corner here and this edge so that we get a chance to block it out nice and smooth and feather it out. Kind of like how you see these edges feathered out. That's how we want to get it nice and smooth. And as you can see, it's a real thin layer, right? The metal is right here. It's not like we're putting on, a large amount of filler. There is one spot that has more than others, but it is what it is. That's the whole point. We're trying to fix a low spot, imperfection, and we use this filler, and it takes care of it. A lot of sanding, and sometimes it's a little tedious, but just work with it. Don't give up and keep going until you get it right. Like I said before, man, just you run your hand over it and you'll feel it when that thing is flat. And you can see it too. Look at it from different angles, get a nice bright light, shine it on it if you can while you're looking, and things will reveal themselves. And also, don't forget to use your guide coat and go over it again and block it, and that'll help you to identify any imperfections. I still can't find my guide coat, so it looks like I'm gonna have to order some, or just improvise and use some rattle can spray paint to mist over this filler and then get to sanding on it. But for right now, this is where we're at with it. I think this is probably gonna be a good stopping point for today. So I'm gonna wrap it up. If I do end up doing a little bit more, I think it'll just go in tomorrow's video because I plan to get a little bit more done. Hopefully we can get this entire upper area of the quarter done and then do the little finesse work we need to do on the lower area. But all in all, it's coming together nicely. It's starting to be nice and straight, just the way we need it. So I'm happy. Hope you guys are learning something and enjoying the content. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. And all in all, yeah, just enjoy the content. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be safe out there and stay tuned for the next episode. I'm your host, Shawnee C. at Motor City Customs, and I'm out of here. Peace.